Hi everyone, I'm Clem and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do my first review on this channel and I'm going to be reviewing Renegades by Marissa Meyer. So I just finished this book like 5 minutes ago and I have a lot of things to say, so I'm going to do a full spoilery review, but first I'm going to talk a bit about the book without any spoiler. For those who don't really know what Renegades is about, let me tell you all about it. So we're in the future, I don't know if it's close or like a far future, but basically in this future we have superheroes who are called the Prodigy, and there is this group of superheroes called the Anarchists, I can do it, and basically they took over the government and they destroy all the human government, and so the Prodigy are in a sort ruling the world, but it was called the Ace Anarchy, so you can guess that it wasn't really good and peaceful. So there is this other group of superheroes, the Renegades, who took down the Ace Anarchy and took over the government, and now they're basically the government, the police, the judges and stuff like that. So at the beginning you're following the main character, Nova, also called Nightmare, and her power is that she can put people to sleep and she doesn't need to sleep. At the beginning of the book, Nova is witnessing the death of her parents and her sister. After that, we're making a jump of 10 years and Nova became Nightmare. And basically she wants revenge from the Renegades because they were supposed to help her parents but they died. So she wants to kill them and she's part of the Anarchists. And so things happen and basically Nova is going to infiltrate the Renegades headquarters in another name, and she's going to like arrive in the team of the other main character, Adrian, who is also called Sketch, and his superpower is that everything he draws can come to life. And there's a lot of things happening after that, but basically it's what's happening in this book. So I gave Renegade 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. It was really a good and enjoyable read, but I had so many issues with the world building and I have so many questions right now about the world and also about what's going to happen in the next one, because like there are so many things that aren't solved and I'm just lost. But it was really good, even though it changed a lot from what she wrote in the Lunar Chronicles, and I'm a bit surprised about it because like it's the same author but it changed a lot. It's still really enjoyable and I really liked it. I give it a 4 out of 5 stars, so it was really good. I really enjoy the two main characters, Adrian and Nova, even though sometimes they did stuff that didn't make sense, and I mean the other character around them did also stuff that didn't always make sense, and I was like, could you think for 2 minutes and everything's going to like, you're going to find all the solution if you think just for 2 minutes, but still I'm going to talk about this later. Also like the plot is really something I like. There is some stuff like about Nova and Adrian are enemies but they don't really know about it, and pretty much the plot is pretty much the same as in Warcross by Mary Lou. Basically for me it's the same story, like there is this girl and she, Nova, who's like a bad guy, and she enters, like she infiltrates the good guy Incognito and she works for, like it's pretty much just like in Warcross, so it's really something I enjoyed, and even I think the end looks a lot like Warcross, so it was really enjoyable. So now let's get to the spoilery section because I have so many things to talk about that I need to start now if I don't want this video to be super long. So Renegades, we can say that there is a pretty rough start. Like the first chapter is basically you're seeing Nova when she's a kid and she's witnessing her parents died and her sister, and it's pretty violent in a way because she's there like watching a parent get shot and then she runs to hide and she sees her sister get shot. It's super violent, and then she almost gets shot by the guy but she puts him to sleep. Like I was like, oh my gosh, what is this book? Like it's basically the first chapter, all of this happened, you're like, what did I get myself into? But it was really interesting because it really get me want to know more, and like because you know that basically it's going to like change Nova forever and change everything that's going to happen in the future. The cast of character is amazing. Like the first 2 pages of the book is basically a list of all the main characters and their powers. And so when you start the book like that, it really like excite me a lot, and I wanted to read this book because you're seeing all these characters and all the description of their powers, and it's amazing. Like people can control waters, there are people like who control darkness, another one who turns into butterflies, and you're like, oh my gosh, this book is going to be amazing. And to be fair, it was the first book I really read about superheroes, so I was really pumped about this. So as I said earlier, I had a lot of issues with the world building. For me, the world building is not flop. So as I said earlier, I had a lot of problem with the world building. For me, there is a lot of flaws in the world building, and there's some stuff that doesn't add up. Like, for example, I don't really understand how the city works, because we're in this city and first we're just focused on the city. Like, I wonder, like, why didn't the world, like the rest of the world or other city, like come and help the city when there was the anarchy, or even right now, like to rebuild? Basically what I understand of a city is that there is the main district, like the main neighborhood where there is the headquarters of the Renegades, and the rest is pretty much like abandoned, and I don't know, it's just like a ghetto or something like that. And I don't understand, because like at a certain point when they describe the headquarters of the Renegades, they say that they built it really quickly thanks to people who could like control metal and bend metal and control elements. So they basically built the headquarters with the powers. So if they can do that, why didn't they do that with the rest of the city? Why didn't they rebuild all the city and make a perfect city? Like, for me, in a world where the superheroes are controlling everything, it should be some sort of a utopia where the city is beautiful, a bit like Panem, you see, for me. And that doesn't make sense. That if the Renegades can do that, why didn't they do that? Because their role is to make people happy and to protect people, but they keep like shitty district and stuff like that. I don't understand. Also, for me, it's like the government is weird, because basically the government is the council, so composed of the five original member of the Renegades, and so they rule over the city. But at the same time, we don't really see them doing like judges or stuff like that. The Renegades have a police, and it seems like their only problem and only focus is on the criminals. And I'm like, if you are fucking superheroes, why there is also so many crimes? There shouldn't be crimes, you're superheroes, so don't tell me that you can stop theft or crimes or stuff like that. It doesn't make sense for me. And I don't know, they're also so focused on crime, and they say that there's problem with economy, that they can't really make money, and I'm like, but you're superheroes, some of you can build stuff, so why don't you build stuff and sell them to other cities? Why don't you make trades with, like, I don't understand how this city is not the wealthiest in the world and the most peaceful and the most beautiful. It doesn't make sense if it's ruled by superheroes. I don't understand. So now I'm going to talk about one character in particular, and it's Max. So Max is this 10-year-old guy who is in quarantine in the headquarters, and you don't really know why, and it takes a long time for you to know stuff, because they only drop hints like every 100 pages, and you're like, please tell me what's happening with him. So at first, like, I was really intrigued with Max, and I thought it's super weird that he's locked down like that. Like, they're supposed to be nice, but they locked down the kid. But when you understand why he's locked down, you say, oh my gosh, this is powerful. Basically, Max, his superpower is that he can absorb superpowers from the others. Actually, it's not that he can, but he does. Like, he can't control his superpower, so every time someone comes near him, he's going to absorb his superpower, and he can completely delete a superpower from someone. And I thought it was amazing. And what was really intriguing is that he's a telekinesist, and Ace was too, so it means that he absorbed the power of Ace, and before the end you don't know how could this happen, but when like Captain Chromium tells like Nova and I don't remember who. No, it's the Dread Warden or something like that. Tells Nova how Ace was defeated, and basically Captain Chromium took Max, because he's the only one who can carry him, because he's made of chromium, so it doesn't alter his power. And he took it near like Ace so he could absorb his power, and then Ace was weak, so he fell into a fire and died. So basically the Renegades, who are supposed to be perfect and stuff like that, took a 3-month-old baby to a battlefield. Am I the only one who see that it's wrong? Like, there's something wrong with those people. For me, the fact that they're using Max to create this Agent N is sick. There's something wrong with these people, really. Like the old plan they have to create this Agent N who will absorb the power of the superheroes who don't want to join the Renegades. It's sick. Like, you can't do that. You can't do that. Maybe people, okay, doesn't want to join the Renegades, but doesn't mean they're going to be criminals. Like, and they want to do that and everybody agrees with that, and I'm like, please, could someone come and wake them up and say, this is wrong what you're doing is wrong, you have to stop. Like, I don't know, maybe some people have so many reasons for not wanting to join the Renegades. Maybe they don't want to be superheroes, like to save people and stuff like that. Maybe they're ashamed of the power or something like that, and they're like, yeah, we're going to suppress all of the power of the people who doesn't want to join us. But who are you? Stop being kings. You're just superheroes. You're supposed to help the population, not like rule over them. So it's so sick. I think when I knew about all this plan they got, it really reminded me of Warcross. Because if you've read Warcross, you know what happened at the end with the things we learn with... I don't want to spoil you if you haven't read Warcross. But basically it looks so much like Warcross, and I was like, those people are stupid. In both of his books there is like plan for the future that is sick and dangerous and crazy, and I don't know, I was so pissed at them. I was like, how can you do that? You're supposed to be good, you're supposed to help people, not like, I don't know, I don't want to see that. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the character of Adrian, which is so complex, and there are so many stuff I don't understand about him. So, as you know, throughout the book there is this character called the Sentinel that arrives and basically does bullshit. I mean, he tries to be good, but he does bullshit most of the time, he fails. And is completely masked and nobody knows who he is, but then you discover that actually it's Adrian. And for me there is something wrong with the Sentinel. Because from the beginning I could tell that something was going to go wrong. Because he's doing this, like, he's hiding this from his dad, from everyone, from his team. All of his team hates him, hates the Sentinel, and I don't know, dude, stop, you're failing at what you're trying to do with the Sentinel, so just stop, you're going to hurt a lot of people. And there's something that doesn't make sense for me, because as I told you, like Sketch, I mean Adrian, his power is to, when he draws something, it comes to life. And basically he creates the Sentinel with his drawings. Okay, he creates his suit with his drawing, which so far makes sense. But the Sentinel can jump really high, like almost fly. He also has fireball and some sort of energy balls, but like he's not supposed to have that. So with his drawings he had himself some superpowers, and I don't understand how it's possible. Because basically he's telling in the book that he hides, for example, firepower by drawing a flame on his wrist as a tattoo. He tattoos himself new superpowers, and I don't understand how can this works. It doesn't make sense for me, because like, how can just a flame give you superpowers? I don't understand. It doesn't make sense for me. I need more explanation about this and how like the superpower of the Sentinel works. Like, and does it mean that it only works when he's a Sentinel, or even when he's Adrian, can he shoot fireball? I don't know. And also, he, like here, he drew himself a zipper, and when he put it down, the costume of the Sentinel goes like on him. And I don't understand. Does it mean that there is the costume of the Sentinel in his skin, inside him? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. How can all suits fit into his body? Like, I don't understand. And does the zipper is real? Like, if you can put it down, like, I don't understand. This was so crazy when I read about it. I was like, how? How is this possible? Like, ow! Also, actually, I hate the Sentinel. Like, I don't like this alter ego of Adrian. For me, he's stupid and he's dumb. Every time he does something, it goes wrong. And for me, there's also something wrong because everybody wonders who is the Sentinel. And for example, there is this scene, you know, when the library is burned, where everybody is looking for Adrian. Adrian is not there, but there is the Sentinel on the roof. And I'm like, please, then people, could you think 2 seconds? Like, every time there is the Sentinel, there is not Adrian. You're looking for Adrian. You know, it's like, I have a t-shirt like that, like, I'm not saying I'm Batman, but you've never seen Batman and I in the same room. And it's pretty much the same. You've never seen the Sentinel and Adrian in the same place together. So please, just think 2 seconds and you're going to discover that Adrian is actually the Sentinel. Like, I'm like, how can you not see that? It's so obvious. Like, I don't know. And I know Adrian is defending the Sentinel so many times and you're like, how can you not see that Adrian is the fucking Sentinel? Like, it's too much for me. I'm like, I'm surrounded by dumb people and I can't stand it anymore. I really like the character of Nova. She was really enjoyable. I really liked her, though sometimes she made dumb choices. For example, when she uses her gloves, like the nightmare gloves, when she's supposed to be Nova / Insomnia, like, why do you do that, girl? You're going to get caught. It's like you use the glove that Nightmare use, and you're like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. No, please, no, don't do it. It's stupid. And also, for me, it's not possible that Nova doesn't see that Adrian is actually into her. Like, everybody tells her, like, yeah, Adrian is super nice with you, he brings you sandwiches at 3 AM, like, and she's like, no, but you know, he's just nice, he wants to make me feel comfortable. No, it's not that. The guy is clearly into you. He came to your house to see how you were, because he was worried, and one day he told you, I'd hate to lose you when I just got you, and you're like, girl, can't you see that actually likes you and he wants to go on a date with you? And I'm like, why? And they didn't even kiss. Oh, I was waiting for that from the beginning of the book and they didn't even kiss. They better kiss in the second one, even though I know it's not going to happen like that, because they're going, like, I'm sure Adrian is going to find out that actually she's Nightmare and it's going to be bullshit. It's going to break my heart. Like, I don't know. One of my favorite scenes of all the book was the scene where Nova actually goes into the quarantine where Max is, and she discovers his power, which is to absorb. So she goes in it and she's weak, and basically she thinks that Max might have absorbed some of his power, but after you see that actually she's still not sleeping and she can still put people to sleep. But after we have this scene with where actually Max show Adrian that actually he can draw stuff and make them like come to life, but it's not as strong as Adrian's power because it didn't stay long enough for Max to get all his power. But Nova stayed longer than Adrian. So I think, I mean, it's one of my theory that maybe Max is going to realize that he doesn't need to sleep, or that actually he can put people to sleep, and then that maybe it means that Nightmare is in the headquarters, and I think he's going to find out that actually Nova is Nightmare. Maybe it's going to be very secret for a few times, or maybe it's going to tell Adrian or some stuff like that. I don't know, but I hope it's going to play like a role in the second one. One of the last thing I'm going to mention is that I'm super happy that Nova killed Ingrid, because Ingrid was a bitch. I didn't like her. Like, between the plan she did at the library, like not saying Nova what she planned and stuff like that, just because she thought that Nova was like too weak or stuff like that, but actually like this plan was bullshit. It was completely a failure, and I don't know. And so I was so happy when she actually killed Ingrid, and even though the whole plan they had like to fake their death was completely bullshit. When I read about it, I was like, Nova, don't say yes. Don't say yes. It's stupid. it was so stupid, and it was sure getting great at playing something else, like as always. And yeah, she had put bombs all over the carnival, but yeah, who's surprised here except me? No, I wasn't surprised. And I need to talk about the ending, because I didn't really get it. So if you read the Renegades, please tell me what you understand with the ending. Because at the very end, Nova is coming back to the tunnels where the anarchist stayed, and there is Phobia, but then Phobia basically tell her weird stuff, or very like stuff that doesn't really make sense, and then disappear. And Nova is telling like in the narration, you learn that actually Phobia hasn't a body because she's an incarnation of fear, so it's not really a body. It's super weird. And then she goes for the first time since Ace died in his room, and then there is Ace levitating from his bed, and he said, "You did well, my little nightmare." So I don't understand. Is Phobia Ace or not? Or maybe I'm just inventing this because it was so weird, the scene with Phobia first. And after, Max didn't absorb all of Ace's power since he still can levitate. So what happened with Ace actually at the battle? And when the sentence is said, does it mean that actually Nightmare / Nova was working with Ace since the beginning? Was this all some sort of fucking bigger plan that didn't so coming? I don't know. So if you read this, please tell me your theory about this, because I'm so lost. So you guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please tell me in the comment down below your theory about the book, and also what you think about the book, and tell me how do you think I did my review, like if you had some stuff to tell me to improve. I would love to know. Don't forget to like and to share this video. Also don't forget to subscribe to the channel to be notified when I post new videos. And yeah, I will see you next time. Bye guys!